I had some free time today during lunch, and I wanted to give a quick channel update as we head into the weekend. Given my video yesterday, I want to reiterate that I have no plans to stop playing the game or stop making content for the community. We're approaching 700 subscribers, and I do want to make sure that my content continues to provide value to the community. And with that in mind, there are 4 main categories, with a possible 5th, stick around for that at the end of the video, that I really want to put my future content into. Not everything is going to fit into those main categories, so there may be other videos that I make as well. The primary categories: free-to-play farming guide and account updates. I do plan on continuing to make those into the future. More episodes of the Quantum Theory podcast series, raid videos, and live streaming. And we're using the free-to-play accounts tavern as the fireplace backdrop for this video because I still can't use my main account on BlueStacks. And you'll have to forgive me for reading from my notes at some points. I did kind of script this out because I want to make sure I catch all the bullet points from my drafting over the last few days. All right, so free-to-play account updates are a little bit outdated. I did release the first one yesterday, I think, but I'm trying to get those edited and released. I think there are 3 that I want to put out for right now, and then I will have more sort of down the road. I did finally unlock the Eldon node, so look for that update first. Making some good challenge progress, which has been a lot easier on this free-to-play account playthrough because of glyphs. And I'm a few nodes away from the Arwen node, but I believe to do that I'm going to need some 5-star characters and some more gear. Going forward, I will try to do these free-to-play account updates as I hit milestones that are worth discussing. So I'm not always going to release a video where I just spend 20 minutes doing a roster review. I really want to make sure that these account updates provide value. One point I want to make is this account is probably not going to be around forever. I do want to focus on my main account, and it will become progressively harder to do the raids as my teams become more developed. But I will continue to showcase this account just to show what free-to-play and probably even light spenders can do with an account. I won't be spending on this account at all, but expect to see videos on the free-to-play account at least until the 1-year anniversary of the release of the game. One thing I will note there is I know CJ and Damon Zell are going to start new accounts around the 1-year mark, or at least I know they were talking about that on the official Discord a few days ago, and they're going to try to compete. So maybe myself and some of the other CCs will join in on that. So the Quantum Theory podcast, I'm working on the format of this series. I know at first it was planned to just be sort of a kind of a team guide series, but I really want to refine this into a podcast format because I have some good ideas for it. We will have a segment where I go through the character and team deep dives, and I want to do that with special guests, so content creators, and also maybe big spenders, whales, or free-to-play players who are really good at min-maxing their raid scores. I do have a few of those lined up, so look out for some of those coming in the next few weeks. I want to do segments like meta reports on PvP, glyph updates if there are any sort of nerfs or buffs, or if anything falls out of favor because of certain strategies within the raid or within PvP, especially if we ever get multi-squad. I do also want to have a segment on game news, updates, that sort of thing. It's a little bit difficult for me with my career to provide daily news posts, but I definitely want to try to incorporate that into the podcast. I also want to do community spotlight interviews, and this would just be interviews with maybe some of the people who provide those character and team deep dives, or other content creators who I'm not able to collaborate on those with, or just people that are well known in the community who've been playing these types of games for a long time. I think it would be nice to sort of introduce some of those people out to the wider community. I have a few other ideas for the podcast, but the idea is to try to make the episodes as fun as possible and engaging from start to finish. The third category is raid videos. These are what got me started with content creation, and I'm hoping to keep making them as new teams or strategies become meta, or as people are able to start scoring higher with those teams. I still have a lot of teams that I have not done strategy guides for, and I also have a lot of teams where I've done strategy guides for, but either I've grown that team to a better place where they can do a higher difficulty, or maybe there's someone out there who is able to do a much higher difficulty, and I can share those raid runs with you and break them down. So these raid videos, they're not going to go away, but you may see a change in how they're presented. I know you guys seem to like the new format where I do sort of a chapter deep dive to start the video. I do an overview and then showcase my runs with voiceover talking about the strategy for each attempt. So that's probably going to be the new format for these. The fourth category is live streaming, and I've mentioned this briefly in some other posts that I've made in the past, and I know Swag was kind of barbing me to get started with it, but it's a new addition to the channel, and the real downside here is it would have to be sort of a night stream. It's going to have to be sometime after 9 p.m. Eastern US time. And it probably wouldn't be something I'd be able to do for a very long time. We're talking maybe an hour, 2 hours. Because of that, I think it would be difficult for me to always showcase my raid runs. We might do some raid attempts during the live streams, especially maybe if someone has a question about a team, or if there's something I feel like I could showcase to a live audience. I really want to focus more on things that allow me to engage with the viewers, because I think that's the best way to do a live stream, is where you're able to talk to the viewers a little bit more and just kind of relax. And I feel like doing raid runs for every live stream just makes it very uncomfortable and difficult for you to think through your choices, because you kind of have to choose between making the right plays and talking to the community, and I think that's a little unfair. Maybe I could do my raid runs and then pull them up and pull the VODs up and talk through those on live stream, and that would sort of incorporate that raid video category into the live streams. So we'll probably play around with that once I'm able to figure out how I want the live streams to be set up and when I can do my first 2 or 3. Some of the things that I want to do in the live streams: tier lists. I'm not a huge fan of just using Tier Maker by itself, but I want to do some live tier lists where I sort of create an infographic on screen or on stream with you all, and we would use Tier Maker so that you all can vote, and then I can put the infographic together. So I think it would be a cool interactive thing for us to do as a community. And then any sort of extended roster review for my 2 accounts, or for any of you if I ever decide to go that route, would be done on the live stream. You know, I'll probably talk about big milestones for the accounts in separate videos, but for the most part, those protracted 10, 20, 30-minute discussions of my roster will happen on live stream. And then a couple of other things that I'll mention that I know are part of kind of gotcha game content creation. Whale or fail, that's something big that Arnold T101 does in Swago, and I kind of think it'd be cool to do that here in Lord of the Rings Home, assuming we have packs in the near future. And then if the channel grows, I think it would be cool to do marquee live testing, whether that be 5-star or 7-star in the future. So we'll see how that one pans out as well. And if you've made it this far, the 5th category that I mentioned is sort of the day of game update coverage, marquee kit reveals day of, and other daily news type things. This category is not always what I personally want to create, and I think it's important for me to have passion for the content that I create, so that what I make is the best content that I can put forward to you. Sometimes that takes a few hours, sometimes it takes a few days for me to film, edit, and put together a video to release to you. I do want to put more videos out, but I'm not going to sacrifice quality to release things for you that I probably would not watch myself. So I do want to include this type of coverage in the podcast no matter what. So even if I'm only doing monthly podcast episodes, I would still cover the daily news type things. It would just be in a segment where I'm able to sort of round up all of that content and put it in that one place for you. You're just not always going to get day of coverage from me, and there may be situations where I don't talk about the daily news type content for quite a while. And the last thing I want to talk about is just in general the cadence for the channel. I know that my uploads have definitely not been consistent. Again, I've already explained that I want to make sure I'm putting forth quality content for you, but I think the other aspect of this is I do have family commitments, and I also have a job that I care very deeply about that I want to continue doing into the near future. And I'm not going to sacrifice the quality of my work at my job or with my family for the game. But this has become a very important part of my life and sort of who I am. It's been a very big hobby for me. The only thing I probably care more about than this game in terms of hobbies is probably making hot sauce and talking about hot sauce. So if you like hot sauce, let me know. No matter what, I'm looking forward to sharing much more Lord of the Rings home content with you all very soon. Quantum out.